What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be reacting to Monster Jam, the greatest rivalry in motorsports. I'm looking forward to this because I've done like a few compilations on Monster Jam, but nothing really about like the sport itself and like rivalries or any of the like drivers. So I feel like this is going to give me a good insight to the sport. So I'm just going to shut up and we'll get straight into it.
Every form of motorsports has an iconic rivalry that goes to shape
that is true.
Sport. For Formula One, it was Alan Prost versus Ayrton Senna.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness!
In NASCAR, it was Richard Petty versus David Pearson.
I believe we'll take the
I don't know who either of those people are.
And for monster trucks, it was the father of freestyle, the icon of the sport, Dennis
Gravedigger
Anderson versus the creative chaos, the now 14-time
I've done a few videos
world
on Gravedigger.
champion Tom Meents. And over the years, this rivalry has influenced the industry and the sport as a whole. These two drivers took the sport to the next level and have characterized many people's childhoods over the many years they have fought together. Rivals on the track.
God, look at them, like, so in sync there.
This is the incredible story of what many call the greatest rivalry in motorsports.
Okay, give it to me. Oh, like, look at that. He's so in sync. Oh! Oh no!
And Dennis Anderson will win his third World Racing Championship. They're both scampering. What else?
Oh wow, you managed to save that. That was incredible.
To anyone who didn't grow up watching the sport, and especially haven't watched monster trucks in general, it's hard for people to believe that this is the greatest rivalry in motorsport.
There's a fair point there.
But this story goes
As
much
someone
deeper than
who
you
hasn't
think,
seen it
and that's exactly
before.
what we are going to cover today. Let's start off with introducing the drivers.
Okay.
Dennis Anderson was born on October 14th, 1960 in Norfolk, Virginia. He began his motorsports career in 1982,
Wow, look at how young he
where
looks
he
there.
created the iconic Gravedigger.
Yes, I've heard about the Gravedigger.
Came from a famous quote that Anderson had said.
I told old Gary Todd, I said, I'll take that junk and I'll dig you a grave.
However,
Oh,
Gravedigger
got
didn't
chills.
start out as a monster truck, nor did it have its iconic spooky paint job. Instead, it was a 1951 Ford pickup truck
look at that.
started out life as a mud truck that would compete in various events across the country. Eventually, that
Look how
turned
big
into
the wheels
blue
are,
and
like,
silver
it's just
Gravedigger
insane.
In 1984, which started the transition of the truck transforming from a mud truck to a monster truck. By 1986,
Like,
it
look
was
how
a
fat they are.
monster truck, and Anderson
Jesus.
introduced the spooky paint job we all know and love today. And since then, Anderson has turned Gravedigger from just another monster truck to arguably the most recognizable and famous monster trucks of them all.
Oh my god, that was a good
He's
save.
ingrained the Gravedigger name in monster truck royalty, and the truck has just recently celebrated its 40th anniversary.
Wow.
His children have gone on to drive, 4 of them currently competing on the circuit. On the other
That's
side
insane
of the
that they all
coin,
got-
we
I
have
mean,
Tom Meents, who was
makes
born
sense that they
July
all got
10th,
into racing.
1967 in Paxton, Illinois. Meents' career in motorsports started out driving the mud racer known
Oh my god,
as
what is
Shake
that?
Me. This then caught the attention of Paul Schaefer, driver of the Monster Patrol monster truck. Through their friendship, Tom landed a driving opportunity with Schaefer, and this is what put the foot in the door for Meents to get to where he is today. Meents had campaigned numerous trucks over the years and won a record-setting 14 world championships.
14!
But his impact on the sport isn't limited to his number of trucks he's driven or championships he's won. He's participated in groundbreaking stunts and advanced the sport as a whole.
That was
and
impressive.
now teaches the up-and-coming drivers at Monster Jam University in his hometown.
University.
Of
There's a
Illinois.
university for that.
So now that we know our protagonists,
Huh?
it's time we delve into the thrilling rivalry of these two drivers. When Meents and Anderson had first met, they didn't share the same beliefs and opinions of each other that they do today.
Oh, okay.
Dennis Anderson had been competing for just more than a decade by the time Tom Meents had debuted. Anderson believed that Meents was cocky, arrogant, and in general just didn't really like him.
No way.
And in the defense of Mance, every rookie driver usually likes to talk up a big game, especially when they start out driving.
Yeah.
This
That's
was
a good
on
point.
full
All
display
rookies do
in
that.
Orlando in 1999, where Anderson and Mance had faced off in the semi-final round. Before the race, Mance had started this now hilarious trash talk where Dan Moriarty tells Tom he's facing Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger, before Mance replies with,
You got Gravedigger in the semifinals. Grave who?
Grave who?
Gravedigger? Who's that? Oh, yeah, I seen him on TV one time. Yeah, he's pretty good, isn't he?
Mance would end up defeating
Love that. The accent
Anderson
makes it so
and
much
would
better.
win the whole racing competition that night. At the 1999 Unnumbered World Finals in St. Louis, they faced off in round 2. And this clip
God,
is
look at them
notable
go.
for Scott Douglas referring to their rivalry as
I tell you, this is now the rivalry in monster truck racing.
The
Anderson
rivalry.
would go on
Not
to
just
win
a
that
rivalry,
race and
the
later
rivalry.
1999 Points Championship. That comment made by Douglas would go on to set the precedent for years to come.
Oh wow, okay.
The 2000 season was the prime example of the dichotomy between Anderson and Mance had truly started to flourish. It was a huge year for both of them. Mance had just debuted Goldberg, and Anderson had debuted the newly rebuilt Gravedigger 7.
Well, look at that.
Despite both debuting new pieces,
huge.
both had very different levels of success. While Mance had debuted the fresh, beautiful, and frankly unstoppable beast that was Goldberg 1, Anderson's new piece, while also being beautiful, was
I have
nothing
to
but
say
trouble.
the paint jobs that
Constantly
the Gravedigger
breaking,
has
and
is
in one
just
case actually injuring
unbelievable.
Dennis. It was a
They're beautiful.
frustrating season for Anderson. Tom Mance would just dominate every show he was at, either winning racing or just freestyle, or in a few cases winning
Whoa.
both. When he didn't win, he went out
Bit of
in
clashing
style.
going on there.
Like when he lost to Scott Hartzog in Gunslinger in Orlando,
Whoa.
and had a spectacular crash at the end that, in all honesty, took a fair bit of the spotlight away from Hartzog. Mance would continue his success at the World Finals by winning the first ever official Monster Jam World Racing Championship.
Wow, the first
For
ever.
freestyle, Mance would crash early, although finish third in the standings.
Oh, the wheel just
In
flew off
freestyle,
there.
Anderson would show the fans why he was the king of freestyle, because he would be the first ever world freestyle champion.
Wow.
After the night,
So they're like
seven
multiple
champions were
different
crowned,
championships
both
that go on
Anderson and
here.
Ben stood in the stage
That's
area
what
with
I'm
their
gathering.
championship hardware, both praising their teams, each other, and the people behind the scenes that put the event on.
The man who brought it to where it is, the man who brings it to the next level.
A year
Wow.
later, and things had changed. Dennis Anderson wasn't satisfied with his freestyle performance and brought out 2 more Gravediggers that he would just total for the amusement of the fans. And after seeing what Dennis had done with Gravedigger 12, parking on top of Goldberg 2, Mance knew that he had to bring out Goldberg 1 and do the same thing.
Oh my god, no
He
way.
would hit a dormant Gravedigger 7, snap the tire rod, and flip over.
Whoa.
In an emotional moment, the two very best hugged it out in the center
Oh, that's
of
cute
the
though.
track.
So it was a rivalry, but
Opinions, and to be frank,
they
the whole
were
event
literally,
had
like,
people split as a whole.
acting like your best of
But
friends.
the reason as to why I think this is important to mention is that
It looks
I
like a
believe that
respectful
this was the
rivalry,
moment
you know what I
they
mean?
finally found their mutual respect for each other.
Yeah, mutual respect,
while
that's what I'm
also
saying.
single-handedly pushing the envelope in the direction of where the sport was heading to. Sometimes mutual respect and lots of drama. I couldn't name a better example than in Formula 1, when Lewis Hamilton
okay.
and Max Verstappen fought for the 2021 title. While they share mutual
Big fat
respect for
rivalry
each
there.
other, they both had moments of controversy, even
Oh,
as
that was
far
Monza,
as the
wasn't it?
very last race on the very last
Oh,
lap,
don't
having
show
a
me Abu Dhabi. I
controversial
don't
move
wanna-
being
don't wanna
the
watch it
deciding
again.
factor of Verstappen's first F1 championship. It's important that they do good for their team, so playing dirty by any means necessary
And that was
in winning a
Silverstone.
championship, regardless if it's ethically wrong. That's
That was a
not
rough,
how it's like
rough
with Anderson and Mance.
crash there for Max.
Sure, on the track they hate each other, and they want to stomp at nothing to win. They'll try to outdo each other to make sure that they leave as the winner or champion. But when they aren't driving, they're best friends or even brothers.
I was gonna say, they
The
look
way
like
they act,
besties.
the way they speak to each other isn't some fake persona they're putting on for the camera. Their love and respect for each other is real and genuine, and this makes watching those two battle it out all the more interesting. The other half that makes this rivalry so interesting,
yeah, we all love a bit of the
is that
drama,
Anderson
but
and Mens
it's
have
nice
added
to see
numerous
that
drivers to be part of that rivalry.
there are
The
rivalries
other
where
half of
they
the rivalry
can like
is
hate
the
each other on
trucks.
track, but also be like
Ray
besties
Vigor,
off track.
Monster Truck versus Maximum Destruction, the most dominant truck in Monster
Oh
Jam
look, the
history.
wheel is like turned
And
off
whoever
there.
was driving these two trucks would keep that rivalry at any and every show they were at. Anderson would go on to win racing in both the December 2009 Minneapolis show and in Orlando. In addition to his wins in
God, you can see in the
Atlanta,
crowd like all
Mens
the
would win
flashing
racing
cameras.
in San Antonio, doubled down in Indianapolis, and won freestyle in St. Louis. When it came down to the World Finals, tensions were high, but I don't think anyone expected to witness what was in store. The top
Oh,
5
what was
qualifiers
in
had
store?
practically set times that were the same. Mark McDonald and Tom Mens were the two fastest, both setting times of 16 seconds, with Adam Anderson, Dennis's son, John Zimmer, and Dennis Anderson himself setting times of a
Wow.
16:03. With
So
these
close
two
to each other.
finishing that quickly, it meant that they were placed on the opposite sides of the bracket. Both drivers marched through the bracket, Anderson consistently laying down clean passes and cracking the whip against John Zimmer in round
I'm just like
3,
so in awe
while
watching all
Mens
of this
used his
footage
favorite technique of coming from behind
of
in two
the
races.
trucks.
Heading to the championship race,
crazy.
the rivalry was as intense as ever. In the two previous times Mens and Anderson had faced off for the racing championship, both of them weren't in the championship race. In
I can't imagine how it
2002,
feels
they
to be
faced off
sat
in the
inside
semifinals where Mens came
the,
out the
truck.
victor, and the other time
How
was
the like drivers must
2006,
feel,
where they
because
faced
this
off
is
in
just
round 2
unbelievable.
and saw Anderson come out on top. We talked about 2000, Anderson and Mens being world champions, Tom Mens doubling down in 2001 and 2002, Anderson not even
Oh my
being
God.
present in 2003 due to an injury sustained earlier in the season, and Mens
So you're
had
about to tell me that
terrible
he
luck
was,
and
like,
mechanical
racing
gremlins
with
saw
that
him leave
injury.
Vegas for the first time empty-handed. In 2004, Anderson won his first racing world championship against Pablo Humpbaker in Blacksmith. Then, in freestyle, Tom Mens tied with Lupe Souza and Medusa to earn Mens' 6th world title, and both left 2005 with no championships.
Oh,
In 2006, it was almost a parallel of 2000, only this time they switched the titles. Anderson would claim his 3rd world championship by winning racing.
it's quite a long
and Tom
rivalry
Mens
then.
would edge out Anderson
This is
in
like
freestyle.
years and years.
In 2007, they both did
Of, like, constant battles.
So Anderson came very close in both racing and freestyle.
Oh my God.
In 2008, they also won no championships, with Mens unable to fix his truck in time for the championship race. First quarter had Mens compete on the 2nd edition of the FS1 Championship Series, and Anderson compete in various untelevised shows. Although
Oh my God, the
Anderson
wheel
doubled
just flew
down
off
at
there.
Glendale, which was shown on
I don't know why,
TV,
but that
not
seems to be like
part
my
of the
favourite thing
FS1
ever.
tour. At the
When I was
World
watching the
Finals,
compilations
they
and
would
they'd
share
like
their
land
last
upside
race
down
together.
and their wheel would come
While
off.
not pretty or clean in any
just
sense of
love
the
it.
word, the two still put on an insane race that saw Mens make it even with Anderson by winning the race. In his last ever freestyle run, he would attempt a backflip that saw him under-rotate and land directly onto the cage. He was transported to a local hospital after the crash and would not get back behind the wheel. This meant that for the first time ever, both Anderson and Mens would miss out on the Monster Jam World Finals.
That's funny that they
Previously
they
mentioned,
both
Mens
had
would make
injuries
his
though and
return
both
in
missed
June
out.
that year. From there, he would continue competing regularly in Monster Jam, winning various points championships, and had since claimed 3 world championships.
Wow.
The first 2-Wheel Skills Championship in 2019, as well as Defender's 2-Wheel Skills Championship this year
Whoa.
by winning that championship as well, and winning freestyle, which he hadn't done since 2013.
Yeah, I want to know how many
almost
championships
10
there are
years
here because
ago.
they keep talking about like
In
multiple different ones.
2023, he will compete on Stadium Championship Series Red, celebrating 30 years of driving monster trucks and 20 years of Max D with an awesome new design. and will
Wow,
hopefully go on
that
to
bodywork
win
is
more
incredible.
championships in the new year.
I love like the
Tom
flames
Mens
on it.
also teaches and trains new drivers at Monster Jam University to prepare them for their Monster Jam career. Near the tail end of 2017, Anderson had stated he was finished driving monster trucks. He had stayed true to that with the exception of campaigning the Extreme King Sling ride truck, and had also did a parade lap in Orlando 2021 for his Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Aww.
Speaking of which, he was inducted into the Monster Jam Hall of Fame officially in 2021 as part of the 2020 class, which he shared with Scott Douglas. The only part of the rivalry that are kept up is the truck versus truck aspect. Anderson's sons and daughter, as well as the rest of the Gravedigger
Again,
team,
I love that
along with Meds and his
kids
teammates,
are getting
still
involved as
trying
well.
to keep the tradition going. But I'll be honest, it just isn't the same.
Aww.
Don't get me wrong, the rivalry is still here and it's still strong. But when one half of the dichotomy is not even in the championship picture, or even really the competitive scene in general, it just doesn't give the same feeling.
I was going to say, it
As
won't
great
feel
as
the
is
same,
to
will
see
it?
men still competitive
But that's cool though. I
against
thought it was going to be just like a
generation,
couple
and
years of
Anderson's
rivalry,
children
but it
competing to a
literally
high
went
level,
on from
two
like
of which are world
2000
champions already.
all the
I
way
just
to like
don't think that it will
2016,
ever compete with the
2017.
rivalry that Dennis
It's quite a
Anderson
long rivalry.
and Tom Meents had shared. The truth is, this rivalry was and is more than just a lack for a better term, a rivalry. It was my childhood. It was our childhood. Many grew up watching
It wasn't
other
my
more
childhood.
famous sports or motorsports, like watching
Yeah.
Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt.
I mean, I wasn't watching
or
NASCAR
Michael
when I was
Schumacher
younger.
versus Mika Hakkinen.
I was
For
watching
me
F1.
and many others, it was the battle of the Titans. The battle of Anderson versus Meents, Gravedigger versus Max D. Good rivalries create tension. Tension creates interest.
they do.
Interest leads to good
It glues more
television.
people into the
And
sport.
there was an abundance of that during Monster Jam's prime. Many say Monster Jam has passed its prime, and this is due to issues ranging from a change in direction, a lack of crush cars, or track changes. But regardless of what is speculated, and while
Oh my
I
gosh.
still enjoy the current
Wow,
Monster Jam
that's a big
product
jump.
today, I will say that the reason I believe to people not enjoying Monster Jam as much as they did at its prime is due to the absence of this rivalry. It made for exciting television day in and day out. Every year people wanted to see the two Titans
I know, it's
compete in
quite difficult
racing
to follow
and
along
freestyle
with a sport
to see who
when
was
there's like
better.
no big
Without
rivalry.
this rivalry,
Cut to
or
F1 last
also
season.
without the people behind the trucks,
There was like
Monster
no
Jam
one
just
winning apart
isn't
from
the
Max.
same.
Yeah, that was a really good video. Like I said before the video, I haven't seen like any videos on Monster Jam. That's like I've seen like compilations, but not like actual videos like diving into the sport itself or drivers. I knew one of the drivers they were talking about there, who drives the Gravedigger, because I think I did like 2 videos on the Gravedigger. But the other guy, I didn't know who he was. But yeah, that seemed like a good rivalry, and it was quite respectful as well. Like they looked like they were like besties off track. It was quite a long rivalry as well. Like it went on for like over 10 years. So yeah, I did enjoy that video, so thank you to everyone for requesting this video. And with that being said, if you have any other videos that you'd like me to react to, drop in the comments. I'm working my way through everybody's suggestions at the moment. If you did want to check out any of my other socials or become a Patreon member and get early access to videos like this or top priority over your suggestions, then you can do all of that down below. And if you want to become a member on this channel and receive exclusive perks, you can also do it by hitting the join button down below. But I hope you enjoyed today's reaction, and I will catch you next time for the next one. Bye!